It's very perplexing to me, and I'll tell you why. Okay, I will give him the first statement that it's highly volatile, and at this point, it's tough to use for transactions. But then he says it's not really a store of value, and then says it's essentially a substitute for gold. So the 4,000, 5,000 year store of value that we know historically is gold. And he just said it's like gold, but it's not a store of value. So does he not think gold is a store of value? And with what the Fed's doing right now, is $1? Is he really making the case that that's a store of value?
Well, hey, Joe, you're thinking about it exactly the right way. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. So first of all, as a store of value, I would just say there's a reason people have flocked to Bitcoin in the last year, right? Which is something else happened in the last year. And that is that we increased the money supply by 40%. So when you do that in a world of supply and demand, it means that the dollar is at least a 40% less good store of value than it was a year ago. And that is one of the reasons people look to Bitcoin. But Joe, the point I really want to make is the dollar may not actually be backed by anything. Obviously, we went off the gold standard in the Nixon administration, but cryptocurrencies actually are backed by something. They're backed by underlying networks. And what you're buying when you buy a crypto token, whether it's Bitcoin or anything else, is you're buying a piece of a financial network that's being built to transact all kinds of stuff. And the number of things that have gone on chain in the last 2 years is enormously high. That's why the cryptocurrency market today is almost a $2 trillion market. I believe in the wisdom of crowds, personally, and I think that there's kind of like forces of the future at work here and then forces of the status quo. I think the crowds are telling you that these networks are where finance is going in the future. I'd want to be part of that.
You point out that because Bitcoin, what was it, 2008, 2009, something like that, it's been around, every transaction's on that blockchain. And because of that, that's why you think it has the most value, the first one to get to $1 trillion.
Bitcoin was the first token to show you that finance could be done on a networked basis as opposed to at the bank. There are a lot of other cryptocurrencies that have done other things with that concept, but Bitcoin was the first and it got early adoption. So when people say, you know, gosh, it's not good for anything but speculation, I would just argue the reason that there was something like $61 billion worth of Bitcoin transacted yesterday is because that network has been adopted by people who used to go to the bank or the dealer to transact.
Brian, we'll be back. This is the $1 trillion question. Can you fight City Hall? That's what scares. Can you fight City Hall? If Yellen and Powell decide that this is not kosher, not going to be something we accept, can they stop it, or is it already too big and too powerful and too
hey, Joe, you can
decentralized?
You can absolutely fight City Hall. Remember, every mayor and every taxi cab commissioner in America tried to stop Uber. But 50 million Americans wanted it, and now we have it. It's going to be the same thing with crypto.